Callum, reports coming out that Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders have agreed terms. Can you shed any light on your negotiations with the Mexican?
Very little, to be honest with you. They made me an original offer, which I believe was too low. I said no. I believe Billy Joe said no to the same offer, and then I kind of thought it'd start negotiating. We have a bit of back and forth, and that was it. It was that they made me one offer, and then went to social media saying I didn't want the fight. But they come back and forth with Billy Joe, and hopefully they've got the fight done with him. And good luck to him. I hope he goes over there and does it. But I don't think they ever really wanted me in the first place. I think they just covered their own back by saying they've offered me the fight, and I've turned it down when it wasn't the case.
How disappointed are you?
Yeah, obviously I'm disappointed. I've said in the past it's a fight I never believed I'd ever get. I still don't, but I know to then start getting an official offer off them, maybe you do start thinking, will I get the fight, and you start thinking of ways to beat them. But listen, it is what it is. I'm in a good division, I'm in a good position, I'm world champion, I'm undefeated, and I'm sure there's big fights out there for me without Canelo Alvarez, but it is a fight I would have wanted. But good luck to Billy Joe.
How close did the fight with Canelo come?
Like I said, I don't know. They reached out with one offer. I thought that'd start negotiations, but it never. That was it. That was the first and last I heard, and they've been negotiating with Billy Joe over the past few weeks. So I don't know how close it was. I don't believe it was very close to being done, but it's the closest I've been in a few years to getting it. But listen, it is what it is. I've just got to keep winning and keep beating who they put in front of me, and I'm sure I'll achieve what I want to achieve, whether that's a fight with Canelo Alvarez or not.
Do you think Canelo took the easy option in Billy Joe Saunders?
No, listen, we're both world champions. I believe I'm number one in the division. The ratings put me at the top. But Billy Joe's a good fighter. He's paid his dues. He's a 2-8 world champion, and he hasn't been picked out of a hat to get this fight. He's earned his right to be in the opposite corner as well. He's the champion in this fight. So I wouldn't say, in my opinion, I believe I'm a tougher fight for him. But as a whole, we're both world champions, so we're both tough fights for him.
What next for yourself now?
I don't know. I'm going to sit down with my team, sit down with Eddie and my trainer, and see what options are out there. I've said for a while I want the big fights now, I want the big names, and hopefully that my team can deliver one.
Callum Smith believes that Canelo Alvarez really had no intentions of fighting him, and Billy Joe will likely get the assignment, and he was just put in the mix so they could say he was ducking. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We definitely working. Now, shout out to ESPN Plus. Use the link in the description to sign up. You can sign up for ESPN Plus as a standalone app. I personally have it, and I also have Hulu and Disney Plus. You can bundle those, all three apps, $12.99 a month if you wish. And it does help the channel when you guys click on that link and utilize the link. So if you're interested in signing up, I appreciate it. And shout out to everybody who bought UFC 248 using my link. Now, you guys heard it. Callum Smith believes that Billy Joe Saunders is going to get the assignment, and Canelo merely used his name to throw it in the pot, but didn't have serious intentions of looking at him as the primary guy. And Callum Smith, in this interview and with Sky Sports and the previous interviews, he says he don't think he'll ever get the Canelo fight. He doesn't feel that Canelo wants to fight him, period. So he says he's going to go on with his career. He's not going to hold out hope that he can get the Canelo fight. If it happens, it happens. He says he is a bit gutted because this is the closest, meaning they contacted him at least, so he thought he had a chance, but he says he doesn't really believe, I'm just paraphrasing for you guys because you guys heard it, he said he doesn't really believe Canelo had true intentions of fighting him. Now, I will say this about Canelo Alvarez. I've been on record. I think he's a great fighter, but I think his star power has been dwindling. Ever since he got to DAZN, they're paying him an amount of money, and I don't think the events that he's producing are receiving the same visibility that they expected, and that his previous events on HBO and when he was on Showtime, etc., were doing. So it's kind of a bust. It's great for Canelo. His kids are set for life, that type of stuff, and his family and his pocketbook, but terms of big events. There's just people are getting tired of the politics, the negotiating, the weight stipulations, and various things, the holdups, if you will. Monday has already passed, and it's March 10th, and we don't even know who Canelo's fighting for a fact. We all believe at this point it's likely to be Billy Joe Saunders, but he's fighting May 2nd, and it's March 10th. And we haven't had an official announcement. We haven't had a press conference. In my opinion, that is poor execution, poor planning, poor negotiating, because Canelo, the same dates every single year, he says he wants the quote unquote Mexican dates. So why not start negotiating, 2-3 months sooner? He just fought in November, and the first week of November, he won. And he knocked out Kovalev, He knocked out Kovalev. So right after that, why not start negotiations? I understand it's holidays and people celebrate the holidays, but you can still start negotiations. But it's poor when you know exactly when he wants to fight and you can get a head start and jump on it. And we're waiting March 10th, and we still haven't heard, as of the recording of this video, we have not heard an official announcement. And to make that worse, people speculate that it's Billy Joe Saunders, and Canelo went to his social media in true diva fashion and said, nothing is official. Be weary of sources. Nothing is official until it comes out of my mouth. And, that's the only way to confirm it is when I confirm it. So it's like Canelo's trying to be like Floyd, but he'll never be like Floyd. And he's not going to be like Floyd with this type of team negotiating on his behalf with minimal time to hype up the events. You got to understand the other aspect of it is this. Canelo is a fighter, but he doesn't really do much on the microphone end. So people that I know watching Canelo events, they're watching for his ability, his skill, the way he fights, and to support the brand. I haven't really ever heard anyone that was wildly, grossly entertained and said Canelo had one of their favorite press conferences or quotes of the year. Guys like even Errol Spence, when he was fighting Sean Porter, he had some funny quotes. He said, "Man, you fight like you drowning. You fight like you can't swim, man down," and he was drilling Sean Porter and saying a couple of funny jabs and quips. You talking like you a preacher? Are we gonna see, Wilder, guys like Fury, guys like Broner, guys like Conor McGregor? I don't know what you're thinking. They all have that like ability to, or choose to, or whatever you want to call it, to sell. So on top of Canelo being trapped on the app, and you not physically having that many weeks before his fight week, he's not the type that's gonna hype up the event like that. Especially in DAZN, they have to be realizing that they're getting a raw deal because they're paying all this money, and you're not gonna get that out of Canelo because career-wise, he showed that he's more mild and he's just real mature, and that's not how he gets down. So to each his own. But the best thing to do is to actually promote and give it some time to blossom, fans to make accommodations to go out there. And that's what they failed to do with Canelo. So we'll see how it plans out. Callum Smith, it's funny because he's saying that his name was mentioned, but he believes that his name was mentioned solely so they can say they made an offer, and then when they choose somebody else, then they can say, oh, they put it out in the public that he turned down the fight. And where there's smoke, there's fire. This same type, the same different camps, or actually, let me say it like this. Different camps are saying the same thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Canelo's team constantly being, in recent memory, accused of lowballing. This, when he was with HBO, we never seen this. How is it that when Canelo has a bigger deal, from what we know, with DAZN, now all of a sudden, people are openly holding off on offers and saying, I want more money, and saying that's not fair. You gave X, Y, and Z more money, and you offer me peanuts. You're offering me lowball offers, turning down offers. But when he was making quote unquote less money on pay-per-view, when pay-per-view is supposed to be dead according to DAZN, listen to the facts I am hitting you over the head with. When he was he's making, they said, the richest sports contract in sports history. So how is it that he's making more money than he's ever made, according to the reports, yet he's also having more problems securing his fights and people complaining about the amount of pay that they're getting versus when he was on pay-per-view. He fought Amir Khan and Liam Smith, and he fought against Kirkland. That wasn't on pay-per-view, but Angulo and Lada, that was pay-per-view. Cotto was pay-per-view. All these negotiations seemingly got done behind closed doors, and people weren't complaining about being offered peanuts or lowballed. Now he gets to DAZN where he's making more money than ever, and this is a reoccurring problem. The other issue is you have a bunch of fighters' names being quote-unquote tied to Canelo Alvarez from his team, and it's going nowhere, and it's going nowhere fast, and people are like, you just using the name. They did this to Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant had a scheduled PBC fight on Fox, and the week of, we started hearing that Canelo sent an offer to Caleb Plant. Why on earth would you send an offer to somebody when they're in fight week and they haven't even got past their other opponent, and you want to fight them in May, and they're fighting, what was it, February? It makes no sense, people. So to me, it's a ruse and it's a disguise, and it's a cop-out for Canelo to not fight who the world wants him to fight, right? And instead, try to throw out names and act like these people are avoiding him. We also, a year after Canelo became franchise champion, roughly, De La Hoya finally comes out and says that Charlo, it wasn't him, but someone on his team. But they're not saying Al Heyman. They're just saying someone that they can't name has turned down an offer, so the train is left. So you have Charlo, who allegedly somebody on his team, turned down an offer, but they won't name who the person is. So that to me is cap, because there's only one person that handles Charlo's business dealings like that, and that's Al Heyman. And if you didn't go through Al Heyman, then you didn't make a serious offer. Then you have Caleb Plant, who was offered something when he has his own PBC fight. Why didn't you offer him something before the Fane Bus fight was actually established? You see what I'm saying? So he can scrap that fight and then rest up since his last fight, which was on Pacquiao Thurman, and actually fight Canelo in May. And then maybe they wouldn't have chose that hometown Tennessee fight, right? Now you have Callum Smith saying the same thing. I turned down the offer and they never sent me another offer. I think they just used my name. They didn't really have intentions of fighting me. So I hope Billy Joe Saunders does it, etc. So, the diva politics from Team Canelo is very obvious. If you study, if you're in the know, you see it over and over again. Kovalev in the first negotiations, which is why Canelo didn't fight on the Mexican date in September of last year that he wanted to fight, because Kovalev complained that Jacobs got more money and he wasn't going to stand for that, where he can't get at least an equal purse with him offering up his belt at a higher division, right? So Kovalev in the first negotiations, Caleb Plant, Charlo, Callum Smith, where there's smoke, there's fire. They are all saying the same thing. They are all saying that Team Canelo lowballed them or made an offer that they don't believe is real, or with a quick turnaround, trying to catch them slipping, or some more BS, Triple G, I don't even know if Canelo just said he don't want to fight them. Then you got guys like Beterbiev, Benavidez, Zordo Ramirez, right? You got Andrade, and I don't even think these guys are even getting offers. We're not hearing about that. So he's likely going to fight Billy Joe Saunders, who happens to be the lightest puncher out of all and coming off a bad performance, along with Callum Smith. Callum Smith was coming off a bad performance, but he's also almost 6'5", with power, and I think he has true power. So to me, that's just a bigger guy. That would be the best fight that he's fought at 168. I think Callum Smith is more proven at 168 than Billy Joe Saunders. You ask why? How do you ask? Billy Joe Saunders has 2 fights at 168. He's a 160 pounder, and he got a title because Zordo Ramirez moved up, and he fought for a vacant title against a no-name he fat, she fat, he thick, or whatever, right? So that doesn't really prove much. And then he had a bad performance against some unknown Marcelo Esteban Corceres. So it's obvious what Canelo's doing. At least Callum Smith is, almost 6'5", 6'4", and he has power, because neither Smith or Billy Joe Saunders are household names in America. They're both from the same place, England, So what's the difference? So for a more formidable threat, at least Callum Smith knocked out Rocky Fielding and he knocked him out quicker than Canelo because he knocked him out 1 round before Canelo, and he's bigger and stronger, and you know, he won the World Boxing Super Series at super middleweight, so he got the gold medal. You know, he got the gold medal there. So to me, that fight is probably more dangerous. You know, I guess you can argue that Billy Joe Saunders' fight is bigger, but you know, Canelo just keeps seeming to take the less dangerous of the bunch. Beterbiev to me is more dangerous than Kovalev, and who did he pick? Kovalev, who looked washed. Almost got stopped by Anthony Yard, did get stopped by Leader Alvarez, did get stopped by Andre Ward, lost to Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? Has problems where he's not disciplined, and he's, you know, attacking women and getting kicked off planes, and long-standing rumors that he's drinking heavily. You know, it's just all the same. So this is why Canelo gets the same feedback from Mexican legends, new media, etc. So good luck with the fight. We'll see what happens. Callum Smith said Canelo didn't truly want smoke. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.